Doug Holtz-Eakin, Senior Policy Advisor. Doug, you just heard David Plouffe say that the choice in this election is very simple, more the same as John McCain. You want change, Barack Obama. I suspect you've got a different idea. Tell me what you think is the closing theme that's going to resonate for John McCain better than the themes have resonated so far.
Well, I think we've already seen this race tighten over the past week. It'll continue to tighten. We expect to be very close. But in all the key battleground states, we're competitive and closing. And there's a good reason why. If you look at where America is right now, and you look at what failed us, Washington failed us, Wall Street failed us. Where does Barack Obama want to put the money? Wants to bring big tax dollars into Washington, wants to pour taxpayers' money into banks and Wall Street. Those are a recipe for failure. I mean, if you even look at his tax or his health plans, no one can figure them out, in part because he won't tell you what they are. They're just like those fancy derivatives that no one understood. He's saying, oh, it'll be fine, trust me. Well, it wasn't fine on Wall Street, and it won't be fine with Barack Obama. He's got a plan that will not create jobs in this economy. No one who has any common sense in economics believes that in the midst of the worst financial crisis and a recession, you should be raising taxes, imposing big health mandates on employers, shutting down the border, and having a costly energy policy that says we're going to regulate it from Washington. It doesn't make sense, and the American people are smart enough to know it doesn't make sense.
Well, Doug, let's pull up, you bring up the tax plan there. We pull up Barack Obama's tax plan. They point folks to a website they say is independent and it's looked at his tax plan. And if you make $18,000, you get a cut there, $18,000 to $37,000, $800 cut. Again, the next category, $37,000 cut. And we don't see an increase, if we can flip it forward, until the folks make over $250,000. And while they may be very unhappy with what they see, certainly this information from Tax Policy Center points out that anyone making below that $250,000 mark gets a tax cut, whereas the folks who make $200,000 and you even see $2.8 million, they're paying $542 increase under the plan. Again, they may not be happy, but the everyday Joe, the plumber, your campaign keeps talking about, if this is accurate, gets that cut.
Well, I mean, number one, it's going to be small solace when they don't have a job, and that's the great Achilles heel of the Obama plan. There's no jobs in it anywhere. But I think the real issue here is I know they have enough money. They need to update their website daily because they're on their fourth tax plan in 4 days. 4 days ago, they said everyone under $250,000 got a tax cut. 3 days ago, they ran national ads that said, no, it's everyone under $200,000. Yesterday in Scranton, Joe Biden said, no, it's really people under $150,000. And today they're scrambling and saying, $150,000, $200,000 might be a tax increase, might not be. Bottom line is the Barack Obama campaign is dead set on raising somebody's taxes no matter what. And the question is why? And the answer is, despite the fact that it's going to hurt economic growth, despite the fact that we've seen it'll hurt people with disabilities who have special needs trusts, despite the fact it's going to raise the marriage tax and bring it back into the tax code, they're going to do it for the purposes of redistribution and redistribution alone.
Doug,
American people don't need that.
Let me ask you about the redistribution, because you've hit Barack Obama for that, in particular for providing tax cuts to people who don't pay taxes, by which you mean don't pay income taxes. And you're talking about that as sharing the wealth and redistributing in a way that has a negative connotation. John McCain, as you know, has a health care plan whose centerpiece is a tax credit that would also be refundable, that would go to people who do not pay income taxes for the purpose of buying health care. What is the big difference of principle between those two, other than the fact that John McCain wants the money to go to health care?
I think there are two big differences. First and foremost, this is a reform of an existing tax subsidy, which has been very unfair in that it favored only one kind of insurance and gave more to rich people, which has never made any sense. It's an accident of World War II history, as the historians of tax policy know. John McCain's reform simply makes an existing policy more fair, gives anyone who gets private health insurance some help, in the same amount whether you're rich or poor. And it's not like writing checks to people. This is about getting health care. We have 47 million Americans who are uninsured. This gives them the gateway to better care, lowers the nation's health care bill. It's a step in the right direction. And, there's a big difference between America's fundamental sense of fairness, its willingness to have a progressive income tax. We know that the top 1% are paying 40% of income taxes. The top 5% are paying 60% of income taxes. There's a big difference between that and saying, I don't care the consequences, whether it's economic growth, whether it's raiding the Social Security Trust Fund. I'm going to raise taxes and send checks to people because the election's on the line. That's Barack Obama's plan.
Doug, we are out of time. Good luck to you on the last week of the campaign trail. I know you've been working 24/7, but it'll be over in 1 week. So best of luck to you, Cameron.
All right,